want to be ornery. But today I want to do something different. So we wanted to talk about this class called How to Get Almost Everything You Want, because it is when we communicate more effectively, we're more able to get what we want, right? So I wanted to call it How to Get Almost Everything You Want Without Having to Go to Jail, but they said that was too long. So what we're going to do is we're going to understand how to identify what we want. We're going to identify what is the most important personal aspect in conflict, and we're going to understand effective communication skills in conflict. And when we're coming from a housing perspective, there's always opportunity in our homes to be in conflict, right? So the definition of conflict is a disagreement or clash between ideas, principles, or people, right? So I want something and a person I'm dealing with doesn't or can't give it to me, and we bump heads, right? That's what we mean about conflict. It is that inability to communicate our needs to another person in a way that they can not only understand but help us. That was good.
And during those times, great definition. And Michelle, during those times, what do we typically see? I really like the iceberg illustration when as it relates to conflict, because on the surface, we're seeing behaviors.
Yeah.
And underneath there's a need, there's a void, there's something missing, there's a trigger there that hasn't, that's occurred.
Yeah.
And now we want to explore solutions. And we're going to tie that into today's conversation about whenever you have conflict at your home, in your home, with your people, with your neighbors, with your landlord. We're going to talk about all those things today and come up with some type of solutions to help individuals who have the keys to the new door, who receive their keys to the new door, and they may experience some type of conflict around their home. And what are you going to do then? So that's what we're talking about.
Absolutely. And it is about learning how to communicate to our landlord, to our neighbors, to our roommates, to our families that come to visit, to people that we know, our friends. All these things can affect our home. All these people can infect our home if we don't communicate our expectations up front, right? So we just have some basic, easy tips, right, of things to do to not only avoid conflict, but how to deal with it in the middle of it, okay? The first thing, if I'm in a situation where I'm getting agitated and the person I'm dealing with has something I want, it's about our needs, right? I want what I want when I want it, but it often involves another person to get whatever my need is. So I want to stay calm. I want to communicate in a way that's effective. The first thing I can do if I begin to get agitated in a situation is take a step back, right? How am I going to deal with this? That's literally taking a step back, because when we're in conflict, we want to step forward. Take a step back, take a deep breath, and think about, how am I going to get my needs met? What is the way that I can get this person on my side so that they can help me to get what I need, right? That's the deal. They got what I need. I need to act accordingly, right? I don't have what they need, so I need to be able to communicate in an effective way.
I think a lot of, I know this for sure, breathing. Breathing really, really, really helps, helps me to calm down, especially if I'm feeling a certain way, if I'm anxious, if I'm angry, if I'm mad about certain things. And conflict does happen all the time for all of us. And so, Ms. Sharon, you brought up some great techniques. Breathe so you can relax and think. There is something, they do have what you need. And how do I go about getting my need met without, because violence isn't the answer.
No. Aggression doesn't get us what we want.
Exactly.
You know what? And it will sometimes, we'll get to that in a minute. Hold on.
But we want to really maintain our healthy relationship,
Yes.
with the people, even if you do have a conflict,
Mm-hmm.
in your home or around your neighborhood or wherever you live. We want to really talk about how can you maintain that?
Yeah.
How can you still agree to disagree, have the conflict, and develop a solution and maintain the relationship in a positive way.
Excellent. And taking that step back is what it gives us. The beautiful thing about recovery is I have gained a pause now. Back in the day, if I wanted something and you told me no, I was on it. I began to be aggressive. I began to be, just a butt. And it didn't give me what I needed. So when I take the time to actually take a step back and think, the beauty of pause is that I have a moment to choose what I want to do in this situation. Do I want to continue to be aggressive? Or do I want to try a different way that is more likely to get me what I want? Right? Another thing is to identify what it is you really want. Okay, sometimes it is a leaking sink. Sometimes it is a noisy neighbor. Absolutely, that we need these things taken care of. But sometimes underneath all that is just to be heard and to be seen as another human being in this home. This is our home, right? It's not a house anymore. It's not an apartment. It's not a room. It's a home. And we need to protect that. I need to protect that in my space, right? Because I've got to have a safe place to come to because the world is messed up some days. And I need a safe place. So I want to be able to know what it is I want. What do I need to make this a safe place? To make this my home instead of just a house, right? So to be heard is a big thing. And to be respected. Some people say if you want respect, you got to give respect. No, I give respect automatically. If I come, I respect you. That's a typical. I do that because we're both humans. Now, if you prove me wrong, now then we got something. But I automatically will respect you, and that's a good policy. I think it's helped me over the years because I don't make anybody prove themselves to be worthy today. I know if you're in my life, you're worthy. I know if you're in this world, you're worthy. So to be able to be heard and seen is really, really important.
And you know what, Michelle, I was thinking back, I'll go back maybe about 2 or 3 classes, two or three presentations that we had. I'm not sure if everybody remember, but I remember him speaking to his anxiety of being able to use his voice to even speak to his land about certain things. And he was fearful. Yeah. So you think about he's holding fear underneath, and he's not really, he wasn't really sure of himself and how to communicate what his needs were based upon his home. Yeah. And so where he and I sat down and we talked about, I remember us actually going to the rental office and talking to the landlord together. And he mentioned it in the video. He said, now I feel more confident and competent.
Yes.
Now that I can go in and talk to my landlord about my issues.
Yes.
About whatever the issue is that I need in that home, but now he feels confident.
Yeah.
And that's what this is about. Because you're going to have a conflict. You're going to have a conflict out here. Like Ms. Sharon said, the world seems very strange, and some people are mean. However, your home is your safe place. Your home is a place where you can go and get away from everything.
Yes.
And if you have conflict in that home, what are you going to do about it? How are you going to conduct yourself? How are you going to handle that? So I just want to put that out there.
Absolutely. Yeah, because we need to be realistic. Conflict happens. It happens everywhere. It happens on the bus. It happens at family reunions. It happens in our homes. And I need to be able, like you said, I need to be able to have that safe space so that I can recharge. as the world takes from me, I can recharge and have a space. One of the things we can do is to make sure we've done our part, right? A big thing is paperwork. When I'm just going to let you talk about this, so go ahead.
When Ms. Sharon mentioned paperwork, what exactly is my paperwork? What is my responsibility when, once you get the key to your new door, you sign a lot of documents.
Yeah.
Your lease is your main document that you sign. And then also, if you're attached to a program, you're going to have some documentation, some documents that you're going to sign for that particular program as well. And so you're signing two major contracts, your lease and your program contract. A lot of information is within those two contracts. And that's where our role comes in to help, to help individuals that we support, getting to know what they're signing. Some lease agreements may have a noise ordinance. Some lease agreements may have pest control fees. Some lease agreements may have a lot of things within that you may not be aware of, and that may cause conflict. I know some folks, for example, your maintenance request. Typically, when you have a maintenance request, once you submit, I know for me, once I submit a maintenance concern, I'm getting feedback instantly, from my landlord, and they're wanting me to feel comfortable. Now, and we're going to do like a little role play. I know we're going to get to it, Ms. Sharon, but we're going to do like a little role play that really will highlight conflicts. We're dealing with making a request from your landlord or putting in a maintenance request, and you're not getting what you need in due time and ample enough time to where you feel okay. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to demonstrate right and wrong ways to have that conflict.
And I just missed it. And it is a contract. A lease is a contract. It's not only saying what you have to do, but it's saying what your landlord has to do too. So when I read that, I not only see my responsibilities, but I see what it says that my landlord will do. If it says that if I put in my maintenance, if I do it correctly, they have to see me within 48 hours and begin to fix whatever issue it was, right? That would be in that contract, in that lease. It's not only about us, it's about them as well. And to know what your lease says. Not that, and this is just some people, not every landlord, of course, is like this. We've got some amazing people out there working with us. But, sometimes people won't do what they have to do until they have to do it. And when I know what's in my lease, that is, y'all have to do this. You signed it too, right? So it is that contract between us. And we got to know the regulations. Everywhere we go, there are expectations. You don't call them regulations, expectations, right? There's a certain way we act on the bus. There's a certain way we act in traffic. There's a certain way we act when we're interacting with a neighbor, with a landlord, with whomever, right? So I got to know what the expectations are so I can stay in the clear, right? So that's really important. And the one thing that helps me when I know what the contract says is that I know when I'm in the right. Because, sometimes I'll get halfway through an argument, a conflict, I'll be like, oh, never mind. And that is so humbling. So to make sure I'm right ahead of time, instead of just going unarmed, I go with my ammunition that goes along with that paperwork. Yes.
That's valuable information that, individual, you're learning about your property that you're living in. You're learning about all those things that you would need to know. So that's need to know information. And you're going in there in that leasing office fully armed.
Yeah.
Fully armed.
Yeah.
And then don't have a support person with you. So you're definitely going in there fully armed with support, to help you resolve whatever the issue is. That's why I really love Tennessee support.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do. That's what we do.
Yeah, help keep going, keep people where they are.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Help you maintain, help you develop that voice, help you resolve some conflicts that you may have.
Yeah.
Help you navigate the system. Um, Help you with the recertification process. It's all a beautiful thing.
Because it's a process. To keep housing is a process, and it doesn't matter whether you're paying rent, paying a mortgage, someone else is helping you with the rent. It's a process. There are a lot of things that we got to do, and there's a lot of things that we can have others do with us or for us. All right, number 4, identify what's most important. Is the relationship most important, or is the thing? Right? This one, it's just about conflict though, but I got a little story that goes along with it. Okay. I have an intimate relationship with peanut butter Oreos. Right? I love them and they love my hips. So I've got this definite attachment to peanut butter Oreos. Well, say I go to the store and I go back there and there's no peanut butter Oreos. I'm pissed, right? So I go to the cashier. She gives me lip. So I'm livid. I am dead in conflict, right? So I got to decide, is this person important to me? Now, I don't know this lady. I need to be respectful, but I don't know her. She's probably not going to be an influence in my life from this point on. So the cookie is more important at that point. But say I go home to my mom's house and she's just baked peanut butter cookies. And I say, Mom, can I have a cookie? And she goes, no, they're for guests. I got a moment to decide which is more important. Is the cookie more important than the relationship? Right? Whether that's a family member or a landlord or a neighbor, we've got to choose that. Do I want to make an enemy of my neighbor over they left cigarette butts by my door? Do I want to make an actual enemy of them? Do I want to get into a relationship with my landlord that makes it aggressive from both aspects? I want to be able to keep these relationships that are important to me, right? Because you may need, all love and acceptance and respect aside, you may need that person in the future, right? I'll call my mom and say, Mom, I need my birth certificate to get my license. And she'll go, you remember the cookie incident? Right? So I don't want to cut my nose off to spite my face. Right? So I want to be able to maintain relationships that are important to me and that are important because that person may be able to help me in the future. Right? I don't want to get aggressive with my landlord because that's not going to get me what I want. So I want to maintain relationships that are important. Right? Oh, dun, dun, dun. Acceptance. Acceptance is the realization of a fact or truth and the process of coming to terms with it. That's what the dictionary says. My definition, to be willing to let go of an expectation. Acceptance is necessary sometimes because I hate to tell all of us this, but sometimes we don't get what we want, and sometimes we don't even get what we need. So acceptance sometimes is the key to that. So go ahead.
And to me, acceptance also is an opportunity to learn. You're learning something new about because you can't accept if you don't accept it. Of course, you can't change certain things.
No.
But when you have that moment of acceptance, you take it for what it is. You accept it, but you also learn. I feel like, especially in a conflict situation, you learn something about yourself and that other individual.
Absolutely.
When you to be willing to let go of an expectation. Man, expectations can. When you have high expectations, thinking about it, when you have high expectations for someone or something, and you're let down.
Yep.
That's a hard pill to swallow sometimes. And that's a feeling where you get the highs and the lows.
Yeah.
But when you can accept something, you're okay with it.
Yeah.
You know, and you learn a new thing, a new skill, or you learn something new about self.
You let it go. You let it go. In some of the literature I read, it says that my serenity level is proportional to my expectations. When my expectations are high on somebody, my serenity tends to be low. But if I can lower them and allow that person to have their day, you may come across me one day and I'm just in a really, really bad space. That's not necessarily me. But if this is our first interaction, that's what he's going to think I am. I'm always like that. But when I can accept somebody for being a human being and having a day, maybe they're not an asshole. Maybe they're just having a really, really bad day. That first cashier I talked to that gave me lip, what if her aunt just died? I don't have all the facts. So it's easier for me to say, okay, peace to you. Peace to you. I ain't got to take this on. Because that's what we do when we don't accept. We take on the other person's mess. And if I can just let go of that expectation that they're going to do exactly what I want, when I want it, how I want it, it can go a lot easier. It can go a lot easier. Let's see. Hold on, we got a few more minutes. Yeah. We want to respect ourselves. It took me a long time to get some self-respect.
Me too.
And I don't play with it. I want to be able at the end of the day to look in the mirror and say I didn't harm myself and I didn't harm anybody else. That's important to me.
Well, when you have that respect for yourself, Ms. Sharon, you have a certain level of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
You develop a certain level of confidence and this poise about yourself. It feels,
yes.
When you show yourself that self-respect.
Yes.
So as it ties into your home,
mm-hmm.
Keeping your home because when you feel good about yourself, you'll start to see it on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
That could mean, all right, I'm gonna take care of my hygiene, I'm gonna take care of my home, clean my home, I'm gonna keep it clean. I respect myself so much that when I do go in and talk to my neighbors, I may even speak and have a great, just positive attitude about myself.
Yeah.
People will pick up on when you are at that place where you love and respect yourself. So having that respect is something very, very, it's important.
It is.
I like the way you do. You said the humanity piece, like respect is. We heard the saying, respect is earned, but respect is automatic. Because we're human.
Yeah.
And until you show something different.
Yeah. Till you prove me wrong. Absolutely. Absolutely. And when we respect ourselves, when I respect myself, my voice is clear. My truth, I'm able to say my truth because I know it, because I know who I am. Right? So that self-respect is critical. I want to be heard. And depending on how I use my voice will depend on how I'm heard. If I go in belligerent, if I go in aggressive, I'm losing my voice. I'm not going to be able to speak my truth. I'm going to speak an old truth about me, not the new truth, not who I am today. So self-respect is critical in that way because it allows us to be able to communicate effectively in our truth as far as who we are. Okay, so things to remember. First thing, don't be belligerent.
Right.
Don't show your ass. All right?
Right.
It doesn't get us what we want. When we cuss and fuss and fight and threaten and all that stuff, I might get my cookies, but I'm not going to be able to eat them on the way to jail. Right? They will not let you smoke or eat cookies in the back of the squad car. Right?
Or if you have an example, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
You might get your need met, but you may not have home.
That's right. Short-term needs may be met, but they cost. When we get aggressive, it costs us something, right? So try not to keep our cool Because when I begin to get agitated, when my anger or my fear, I appreciate you saying fear, gets too high, then I can't speak my truth, right? I can't be heard effectively. No. I become not me, and I want to be me today. Okay. Be respectful to yourself and authority. I don't like that one much. You know, I don't like that one much. However,
I think I like the part be respectful to self.
Yes.
You know, and adhere. I think adhering to the power of the people that are, you know, your landlords, and just adhere to what, you know, those powers that be.
Yeah.
Adhere to what the expectations are, the rules are. You know, that authority piece is.
Yeah.
A lot.
However,
it's power over it.
Yeah. I got to remember that there are people that do have some power in my world. You know, if I'm disrespectful to my boss, I could lose my job. If I'm disrespectful to my landlord or other people that are involved in that housing piece, I could lose my home, right? So when I respect authority, I understand that I've got something to lose if I get out of, I don't want to say out of line, but if I don't communicate effectively. I could look like if I'm driving down the road, I'm doing speed limit, I got the seatbelt on, my car is in check, everything's good, and I get pulled over. I got a moment there. Now I can tell this officer all about how my taxes pay his salary and how wrong he is. But is that going to get me what I want? I'm already late for a meeting. Is that going to get me what I want? No, it's going to take time, and it may cost me more than just time if I keep going with it, if I disrespect.
Or if you don't accept the fact that you were.
Yeah.
We talked about it.
Yeah.
And you said that
doing my part, accepting my part. Absolutely.
So when you think about all those things, you take time going back to stop and think and relax and breathe. Where are you? How did you add to the equation?
Yes.
What did you do to add to this conflict that could
Yeah.
You know, and what's the solution?
Yeah. Now let me tell you a secret. You don't have to respect somebody in your heart of hearts.
Right.
I mean, you just don't. But I may not respect. I don't know that officer. You know, I don't know. Yeah. But the way he's treating me, I don't. You know, I may have a certain opinion, but I want to respect authority so I don't lose anything. You know, I don't got to feel it in my heart of hearts, but I got to act like I feel it in my heart of hearts today. Right. So we want to be respectful to people that have power over us, that have the ability to take from us something that is important to us. Oh, I'm sorry, babe. Conflict. Empathetic is another thing. Allow the other person to have a bad day, right? If people knew, on my worst day, if people knew what I was going through, they would have treated me differently. Right? I never know what somebody's going through. That cashier just lost her aunt. How important is that compared to cookies? The cookies are insignificant. It's hurting. And if I can be empathetic and just say, I'm going to let you be human today. You be you and I'll be me. Right. You know, that's that acceptance, to be empathetic that this person just, you know, I don't have all the facts. I don't have all the facts. And I can be merciful if I choose to be. And I believe in karma. What comes around goes around. And if I'm merciful to you, I may get that from another person.
And just have a little grace.
Yeah,
absolutely. You know, have a little bit of grace, you know, because we're all going through things and people go through things, but just have a little grace, you know, and be empathetic. Yeah. You know, because if you're starting to see someone, you never know what the person's holding. No. Internally. No. So you think about it, you could be dealing with a conflict within. Yes. Yourself. And you go in there to talk, or you're talking with your neighbor, you're laying on somebody, and you lash out at them in a way, and they're looking back at you like, whoa, is that the angry neighbor there? Or is that my anger? You know what I mean? And people can label you and get the wrong just overall.
Yeah.
So being able to be empathic, allow people to have a bad day, not to go in there and act like you don't have any kind of
No, not a doormat in any way, shape, or form.
But in a way that you can understand, overstand, and understand what's going on. But I think the inward piece is so important because we work inward, outward. Yeah. So if you're able to be empathic with people, that means you're working on you. Yeah. And you're able to, you know what, am I having a bad day? I'm not having a good day, or I'm not having a good day. Maybe let's try this again tomorrow. Yes. It's out. You know, if you know you're feeling, because we're talking about conflict, and if you know you're feeling a certain way, it's okay to say, you know what, it's not a good time.
Today is not the day.
Try this again tomorrow.
Yeah, and that's part of that acceptance too. You may just not be the one that I need to talk to. When you call Social Security, the DMV, insurance companies, whatever it is, you get that first person. They may not have the power or information we need, right? So I want to be able to. Where's that going with that?
I don't understand. What's going on?
Yeah, to be that compassionate person, right? The next one is brainstorm options. Two heads are better than one. Yeah. See, because I believe there is always a solution. A lot of times I just don't know it because I don't have all the information, right? You get two people together, you get your landlord together with you and to brainstorm some stuff. Talk to your neighbors. What's worked for them? How do they get this done? You know, when we talk about different options, it helps because it just opens potential for solution. Ask for help. That is a big thing. So if the maintenance guy hasn't helped you, go to your landlord. If the landlord hasn't helped you, hasn't gone with their the contract, the lease, who do you go to?
You go to your support. If you need support, you know, like myself, or your program. You know, you can go to the folks that are working on that team because you have a team of folks that are around whoever we're supporting, and we can help them with this process. So that's the beauty of it. You know, there's a lot of advantages to having a support system.
Yes.
Or a team of support people, because when in doubt and you don't know, or if there's something that's not being taken care of, you've reached out multiple times and it's still one of those things where the conflict hasn't been resolved. Before it reaches an outburst or becomes something very, very serious, tap into your support. Yeah. And that's where our role comes in. You know, we'll come down and we'll listen to hear and gather information. What's going on? Yeah. You know, what happened here? I love exploring with people. Because you get an opportunity to figure out, well, what happened? What was the problem? How did you contribute to it? Yeah. How did they respond? What's the greatest outcome? What's the best outcome for that?
And it's just like brainstorming, you get a different perspective. You know, based on their experience, what did they experience? Exactly. You know, when you combine all those experiences by asking for help, you're more likely to get solution. That's just it. More likely to get solution. All right, so we said take a break for a minute, make sure we're in the right. Breathe, all those things. Identify what we really want. Is this relationship more important than the thing? Because sometimes we need to hold on to those relationships, right? Going back to acceptance. Whether we get it or we don't get it, acceptance is the key, right? Don't be belligerent, show your butt. Allow the other person to win a little bit. Be respectful to yourself and authority. Be empathetic. Brainstorm options and ask for it. Easy peasy stuff, right? I mean, we all learned this stuff in probably elementary school, but I killed a lot of brain cells and I did a lot of damage out there. I got used to acting a way that didn't get my needs met. So today it's about remembering these little things that can help us.
And you know, Michelle, sometimes life experiences can cause one to act in a way that takes a character. Just because they're holding a lot of the world on their shoulders, or underneath there, there's some fears and anxiety that's in there. And so we encourage people to talk it versus acting it out. Because when you get it out, people will know. Yeah. Versus acting. They're going to know either way. They're going to know if you act out, it's a problem. And it could be your problem. Yeah. That you didn't turn around, not that entity. So just talk out. We want to encourage people to talk it, acting it out.
Absolutely. Speaking of acting it out, let's do a role play.
Let's go.
Okay.
Hey,
so you want to set up the role play? What is the situation?
So this is the situation. I am the tenant. I'm going to be the angry tenant. Okay. And Miss Sharon here is our landlord from apartments 1, 2, 3. My apartment complex is called apartment 1, 2, 3. And so I am going in this first scene where we're going to show an act where I'm coming in to talk to Miss Sharon, who's my landlord, and I am livid. I'm livid because my water has been leaking for days, and I don't know what to do about it. I know I'm supposed to submit a maintenance request, and I've done that. What I thought I did right, and still my water is leaking. So now I'm mad as hell. Yeah. And so we're going to show whereas if you go in mad as hell, what can happen? Versus if you go in and do all the things that we talked about today as far as conflict resolution, how would that? Yeah. So let's go into the office. All right.
Yeah, come on in. Damn it.
I am pissed.
Yeah.
How are you today?
I'm all right. I ain't pissed. What's going on? What?
Well, Miss Sharon, you know, I've submitted my maintenance request last week, Monday, because my water has been leaking in my home for days. And I haven't got anyone in there to fix my damn water. This is some bullshit. I'm really ready to cuss someone out.
Well, you're cussing me out.
Where's that maintenance person so I can get in his tail? Because I'm sick of it.
Oh, no, that's not going to work because you get it, piss him off. That's going to make me mad. And, you know, that's not going to work for you.
So what the hell am I supposed to do? Toilet? Let me leaking faucet the rest of the day, the rest of the week?
Well, you know, if you did this request right, then it should be taken care of. Yeah, well, you keep walking because you just
okay.
Obviously that's not going to get us what we want.
Okay, so saying that, we can kind of debrief.
Yeah,
I came in angry.
Yeah, you came in hot.
I didn't use any of it.
Nope.
I didn't relax. Okay. There's probably something I didn't read within my lease to follow up as far as the maintenance piece. I came in here with a very, very, very bad attitude.
You came in emotional when it would help to to the facts.
Right. I came in emotional because I was angry.
Yeah.
And I didn't think it through.
Yeah.
And so, word to the wise, never going to your landlord's office in that state.
Yeah. It's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
You know, and we're not saying that your kitchen is flooded. If there was a reason to be mad, you got one. However, acting that way is not going to get my needs met. Right? You want to come in and do it a different way?
Let's do it a different way.
Okay.
All right. Ready?
Yep.
Hello. How you doing?
Good.
Cedric, you doing okay?
You're in 103, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I just want to come in and talk to you. You having a good day today?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
Honestly, I'm okay. I just really wanted to share some updates on my end because I've been having a ongoing faucet in my home. And I submitted a maintenance request. I just haven't heard anything back from maintenance yet. And I really don't want it to be a situation where, causes some water damage.
Yeah. That wouldn't work for either of us.
Either for you guys or for myself. So just wondering how can I go about getting this taken care of?
Okay.
And how maybe you can help me with that.
Let me tell you what I can do. I can pull your maintenance request and make sure everything's in it, because sometimes people forget to put the room number, or there's just a little bit that's not there that's critical, so we know how to get started. So what I'll do is I'll pull that and take a look at it. And if there's any information I need, I'll get in touch with you, okay? And we'll get that taken care of. And I'll make sure I pass that on to the maintenance guy, okay?
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I really
Absolutely.
appreciate that. You have a great day, okay?
You too.
And I'll follow up if I need it.
Hey, thanks for coming by. Thinking before, did I?
And that felt better.
It does.
That felt better when I went in and stayed calm.
Mm-hmm.
But I went in, I was pleasant, and notice I shook your hand first, and the energy it shifted. I can feel it, and that made the whole conversation a whole lot better. So that's really what we're talking about today. You're going to have conflicts on many different levels. At work, home, wherever you are. But especially for you get your keys to your new door. Yeah. And you're experiencing some fears or anxieties about different things, and you may even experience some conflict. That's why you have to be mindful of your company you keep around, people that come in and out of your home. Being mindful of who you're living around, your neighbors and things of that nature. And then when it's time to go and talk to your landlord about certain things, I hope you guys can take some of the examples, and as far as the way that we conducted ourselves during the role plays, how you will go in there and use voice, because it's really about advocating for what you need. Advocacy is a big advocating for what the underlying needs that you have. That leaky faucet would drive me crazy, but at the same time, I can't go in there and live it. No, and try to eat it. So overall today, we're talking about conflict, and we try to give examples of, like, you do have a love for peanut butter Oreos, you do. But thinking about what happens if someone's treating you a certain way about those Oreos. Yeah. Same thing. You love your home, love yourself. What about if people treating the place where you live respectfully? Or you are not respecting your place. So all the different things that we talked about that can happen within a conflict or conflict resolution tools, use these. It's about respect today. It's about respecting myself and the other person. And even if I don't or I don't like that person, and if I can effectively communicate that need in a way that's logical instead of emotional, anger, or fear-based, I'm more likely to get that need met. And that's the deal. We have needs. We want our needs met. And if we communicate in a more effective way, we're more likely to get that. Okay. We don't have any chatters today, so that's unfortunate. But appreciate you all being here today. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us, and I hope this information helps. Thank you. All right, we'll see you later.